Hello and welcome back to Bloodborne. This is part 8 of our Beast Cutter run. Last time we pretty much finished up the base game going through Nightmare of Mensis, taking out the two bosses there. And here, as you can tell, we're starting this part off at the beginning of the DLC. Now, we were here way back in part 1 in order to get our weapon and armor set. And we did go get the second lamp. Meaning, we could go straight for Ludwig, but we also skipped some of the items, and we didn't really engage in any combat the first time we were here since we didn't have the weapon. So we could go straight for Ludwig, but I decided I want to go through the area. I mean, not every single nook and cranny, not get every single item, but I just want to take a little cruise through the area, see what's going on, fight some of the enemies, show why my Beast Cutter is the best, and I don't know, just kind of get some practice in since I haven't been here in a bit. And these enemies, they're very fun. Maybe not the dogs so much, but the hunters, especially the ones with the beast cutters and boom hammers, are very, very fun to fight. So they are a bit difficult, which, again, is why I want to get some practice in. So that way I don't embarrass myself too badly. But like I said, just got most of the items, or at least some of them. I've gotten at least some of the items, so there may be a few things missing here and there. And yeah, you might miss out on a few items if you take this as like everything that's here. That was rude. Like, I was just leaving him alone. There's no reason for him to do that. But here, I didn't remember if I had picked up the item in there or not. And I typically do these recordings usually at the middle of the night, like 3, 4 in the morning, so I was not very awake. And my brain was just like, oh yeah, this is Lawrence, this is Lawrence's skull. And then the item wasn't here, and I was like, oh yeah, you come here to get the eye pendant. You come back once you get Lawrence's skull. That did not click in my brain until I realized the item wasn't there. Don't stay up until 3, 4 in the morning and play video games. That is probably not the best thing you can do for your brain, as it turns out. But we got there eventually. We figured it out. And just stick on the left side for this. And just keep running. No worries. And if you remember in part 1, it took a lot of swings on that guy to kill him, so definitely a ton of progress has been made. We have definitely made it much better. But I didn't think I had picked up the item there, which is why I went down. Turns out we did have the item there. And so, oh, brain whoopsie on my part. But here, I jumped into the delayed Molotov and took damage, but instantly got that health back because of the visceral. So that was very nice. I was very happy to see that. Get a little chuckle out of it when it happened. But continuing on, I didn't really go through here the first time around because it's dark and there's a lot of enemies, and there's a guy with a boom hammer who likes to chase you. And so there's some stuff here. And here's where you get the boom hammer. That was loud. Anyways, so that's another weapon that we're gonna have to get whenever we do that run. And there's also some hunters in this part of the area. And obviously I didn't kill them because I didn't have a weapon at the time. But they have some cool stuff. Like, this one specifically drops a badge when you take them out. And you may notice that he has the Beast Claw weapon. But he looks a little different than you would if you were to have the Beast Claw weapon. He's got some new moves. And so we kill him, and we get the Firing Hammer badge, which gets you things like the Boom Hammer available for purchase, and also that railgun sniper thing that we were shot with earlier. You can purchase that, I believe. Now here, not a big fan of these enemies, and I really didn't feel like fighting them, so I didn't. Just ran right past them. Now, normally coming to here, I have the Beast Roar, and I didn't have it equipped this time, and it's kind of a big part of my strategy, and so I just walked around and not being able to see while I equipped it, which went a lot better than I thought it would. And that was very surprising. So I think I got very lucky with that. Yeah, as you can see, his weapon is very, very, very fast. A lot faster than our weapon. He also has a decent bit of range with the alternate form. And a Gatling gun. So Beast Roar is incredibly potent against him. And killing him, you get the Gatling gun. So, that's neat. But yeah, like I said, Beast Roar, very, very good against hunters. And coming over here, you get some more chunks. So, if you can, coming here early on for lots of twin shards and a few chunks, not too many, but you can get like 4 or 5 probably. Just a good idea if you're willing to go into the danger. Speaking of danger, early on, a boss like this would be a threat. But not anymore. At this point in the game, they're running away from us. They're trying to get out of here. But we can only run so far. And a damp blood-tinged gem. That's okay, I suppose. But here we get the Amygdalin arm. Another weapon, so when we have the Amygdalin arm run, that's going to be a very interesting part 1. It's going to be a very painful part 1. Having to get through the hunter, having to get through the Blood Lake and the Gatling gun hunter, and surprisingly, the least of the threats being the actual boss turned enemy. It's weird to think that the thing that was once a boss is now the least of the threats. But here we are. welcome to reality. But yeah, the gun that they have you can purchase once you get the firing hammer badge. The funny thing the hunter guy did with his head, they gave him like a new moveset, and look. You can't get that with a badge, but you can get it here in the DLC. But that's a bit later on. We'll probably get to that in the next part. For now, coming down here is the shortcut that we already got in part 1.
You're a hunter with your sanity, aren't you? Must have taken a wrong turn then, eh? Well, we're more alike than you think. This is the hunter's nightmare, where hunters end up when drunk with blood. Use this and...
Look at me, I've got the butcher set. I'm using a beast cutter. Do you think I have my sanity?
Beware.
Do you think I have my sanity, sir? I'm not gonna kill him, but... he's making some incorrect assumptions about me here. But... continuing on... I know that I skipped most of his dialogue. If you don't want me to skip the dialogue, I'm gonna listen to everything and watch all the cutscenes and whatnot on a handful of runs. Like, I know for sure the saw cleaver run and like the hunter axe run, because you can get those weapons in the first area, and so you don't need to go through any bosses or skip anything in order to get every piece of dialogue, every cutscene. No having to kill a boss twice, because I didn't have the weapon in New Game at the time. So, if you want to hear all the dialogue and see all the cutscenes, Saw Cleaver's the way to go. Or any of the 4 starting room weapons. Starting area. So like, Saw Cleaver, Hunter Axe, Threaded Cane. I already have Threaded Cane up, so you can watch that if you want. And then there's also Saw Spear. Because, not a starting weapon, but you can get it in the first area. Technically, you can also get the Kirk Hammer in the first area as well. And if you're willing to kill an NPC, then Blades of Mercy as well. But that's a bit evil. Well, I've got to be evil for at least one run, right? Sir, I'm trying to get rid of your bird problem. And I would appreciate it if you would be cooperative, but if not, I will have to dispatch of you in order to properly facilitate my work as a hunter. Thank you very much. So, once again, my beast cutter is the best beast cutter. And moving on. Like I said, we got some of the items, but not some of the ones over here, because I didn't have a weapon, and I didn't want to get out of the hunter and bird nest just to drop right back in. That would be counterproductive to my life as someone who was like level 20 at the time. So, here, guy with Beast Hunter Scythe. He went right past our bullets, but we got him the second time, so as long as we don't die. And that was a funky jump attack. It's fine. We don't need to parry him. We can just keep wailing on him. And we can wail on him from a distance. And he drops a vermin because he had more health than the other people of his kind. But here we get a Beast Hunter Scythe, which is the weapon he was using. it's kind of like a prototype of the saw cleaver, and I think that the beast cutter and beast hunter scythe are like two sides of the same coin, with saw cleaver being the coin, and beast cutter is more like the strength and just hit hard with it, and beast hunter scythe is more of the skill and the speed side of it. All three are very good weapons, by the way. And we are going to let him pass. But... I don't know where he shot, but I'm glad it wasn't in my direction. I feel bad for any poor soul that got hit by that grenade, though. Now, I know that we ran past the lamp. Here you can summon Henry if you want. I'm not going to. But, like I said, we ran past the lamp, but I already got it in part 1. So, no need to get it. And Bloodborne isn't, like, nice. Very good parry. And he also has more health, so he also drops a vermin. But anyways, as I was trying to say, you can't sit down and rest at the lamps like you can in Dark Souls with bonfires. So if I die, I already have that lamp covered, and I'll just have to teleport back to it. But I don't want to teleport and first try the boss, because that'd just be a waste of time. But here we get the Whirligig Saw. Another weapon that's going to be a delight to run and get as soon as possible when we have that run. Especially since doing that means that these two enemies are out. And I ran straight into that and then got caught, which got me shot again. Like a little goof. But we ran past. So it's fine, it's fine. And here, this enemy very easy to kill. And this enemy gives you 5 blood vials guaranteed every time. And they respawn because there's a very difficult boss coming up ahead. And the devs knew that people were gonna die a lot and use a lot of blood vials on them. But they also happen to be one of my favorites, if not my favorite boss, so I'm gonna let this cutscene play itself out.
Please help us. An unsightly beast. A great terror looms. Ludwig the Accursed is coming. Have mercy. Have mercy upon us.
So they always start out with the same jump attack, which is very good. And I didn't have fire paper, so that had to throw me off because I had it on before and then I took it off for the hunter, but then I didn't put it back on. But it's okay, we can just... Unlike the hunter, we do not have time to go through our quick items. So we just have to wing it and either make do without it or die. And that probably would have killed us if it hit. If I had dodged like a frame later, that would have been death. But, cutscene number 2.
You were at my side all along. My true mentor. My guiding moonlight.
And now, instead of being on all of his legs, he's only on half of them. Which makes him a bit easier. But he also has a giant sword. And some of his attacks have range. And we thankfully broke him out of it, but he does have a, like, quick 2 attack. And I could have gone after him, but I decided to back up for something you'll see later. But, like I said, he does have this, like, quick 2 swing attack. It wasn't that, it's something else. But it's very difficult to dodge, in my experience. It's this one. For some reason, like, I dodged it there, but for some reason I can almost never dodge it. There was that one as well. But with that being said, he goes down first try. Now, the reason why I backed up was because of this NPC. So, before we talk to them, guidance. This is a rune that gives you 20% more rally potential. Rally potential is how much health you get back when you attack an enemy. But, yeah, this guy lived. He just laughs, but yeah. At the time he did the big, like, raise his sword into the air and then slam down. He was very close to that NPC, which is why I backed up.
Good hunter. Have you seen the thread of light? Just a hair, a fleeting thing. Yet I clung to it, steeped as I was in the stench of blood and beasts. I never wanted to know what it really was. Really, I didn't.
So, if you have a church garb on, you'll get new dialogue from him. I don't have a church garb, though, so we're just gonna kill him. And doing that gets you the Holy Moonlight Sword, which is a very cool weapon, and I like it a lot. And yeah, I've been skipping most of the dialogue and most of the cutscenes, but not here, just because I love Ludwig so much. He is almost a perfect boss.
But with steady stride, colored by blood, but always clear of mind. Proud under the church. Beasts are a curse, and a curse is a shackle. Only ye, the true blades of the church.
I said it with a born beast in the Ailing Loran chalice, but I think Ludwig does it too, where they perfectly encapsulate Bloodborne with the aggression you have to have, but not too much aggression. I don't know if aggression would be the right word, honestly. It's more like being proactive rather than aggressive. Fist of Gradia. But yeah, because if you're too aggressive, then you'll run out of stamina and you'll die and whatnot. So, while a lot of people say aggressive, I think it might be a, like, correlation, but not quite the same type of thing. Because I think it is more of you need to be proactive rather than aggressive. And like I said, Abhorrent Beast fits that perfectly, and Ludwig fits that perfectly as well. And I love both of them so much. And as a side effect of that, they're both very difficult. But I think that just makes them even more satisfying to beat. Because you really have to earn it. You have to earn that victory. Unlike this where I just I didn't know they could see me there. And that was very thankfully just out of their range. But she's dead now. So here, obviously there's two hunters. And one is more of a strength melee, and the other is more of a speed magic. And the speed magic one is kind of a pushover. So it's really the one that starts out here with the greatsword. They're the main big threat, so if you can take them out, then you're fine. Which the alternate form of the Beast Cutter is incredibly good at that, so very happy with that. But anyways, cutscene, we skipped it. It just turns this thing into an elevator, and it brings you up. And now we're gonna be bringing it down. And we're gonna send it back up, but we're not getting on it this time. And something that I think more elevators should do, and something we see in Dark Souls 3 as well, in one elevator, is you send it up, and there's something at the bottom, a little secret. Here there's two things. The first being Lawrence's skull. And that's a key item, and it lets you fight a mini-boss. Not a mini-boss, an optional boss. Those are two different things. But you also get the church cannon, which is a weapon. But Lawrence's skull lets you go fight Lawrence, and they're the one optional boss in the DLC, so you can fight them if you want. I'm going to fight them because every boss means every boss, but not super happy about that one, because as much as I love Ludwig, I do not love Lawrence. But we'll get to them when we get to them. For now, I'm just going to unequip everything because that gets rid of all the blood. So if you want to get rid of all the blood on your armor and weapon, just unequip it and re-equip it and you'll be fine.
Someone.
Nope. Haven't seen no eyes, sir. I haven't seen nothing. In fact, I highly doubt that I have eyes. Not anymore, at least. I've been killing a lot of things. Like I can unequip my armor to get the blood off of that. I can't unequip my eyes to get the blood off of them, so sorry. But continuing on, we are now in the research hall. New area, new enemies, and unlike the previous area, which had a few old enemies, this area really doesn't have that. I mean, at the very top, it's got a few birds and a few rats, but for the most part, it's entirely new enemies. Now, you can go straight forward through there, and could miss me, but that area has quite a few enemies, and I wanted to keep moving. And so I instead went this way because they both lead to the same area. And you may notice that I typically have a few cuts here and there, mostly to skip whenever I'm going to the Hunter's Dream or going like a new area. Whenever there's like a loading screen. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. They have a lot of poise. But it's fine. It's fine. But, if you had decided to go straight through that room full of enemies, you would have ended up at this ladder, so, like I said, they both end up in the same place. But, like I was saying before, I usually have a few cuts here and there, mostly to skip the loading screens, but you may have noticed there haven't been any cuts here. There have been no loading screens. I haven't gone back to the Hunter's Dream, I haven't died, and that's the main reason why I skipped that room. Because I had a goal that I'd set for myself at this point. I wanted to beat... Like, I wanted to go all through Hunter's Nightmare, beat the boss, go through all of Research Hall, and beat the boss here. Maybe not Lady Maria, but at least Living Failures. All without getting a single loading screen. And I also wanted to do that in under an hour because Bloodborne is sadly not on PC. And so I'm recording this on PS4. And the recording, like, it only records to up to an hour. And so if I go for more than an hour, then I'd have to either miss out on the beginning of the footage or have two recordings, which I didn't want. And you can get out of here. And I know they're talking, but you can get out of here. But they're out of there. They died. Hopefully. I hope that's what those blood echoes were for. And killing them gets us brain fluid. Don't worry, they didn't actually die, they just reform. And you can still talk to them after you hit them and get the brain fluid. And what the brain fluid is for an NPC. And, I mentioned that I didn't... Ow! That was rude. I mentioned that I didn't have any skips. That I didn't, like, skip any of the footage because we didn't die or have a loading screen. And you may notice there was a skip there. That wasn't me, that was the game. But that's the NPC who wants the brain fluid. I'm not gonna do that this time. I did it last time, I'll do it in a few future runs, but not this one. But yeah, basically, there are two... Oh, hello. But there are two different modes in which you can record on PS4. And there's one that takes longer, but it's more consistent. And then there's one that's a lot faster, and I mean a lot faster. But it's pretty rare, but it does do a few skips like that. It's only like a second of a skip, as in like it only skips a second of footage, and it's pretty rare. I've only seen it happen like twice so far, but it is something that does very occasionally happen. But that's what I'm going with, because it's just so much faster. Because you need to hold down a button. Like, there's a share button. Very good armor set, by the way. but there's a share button on PS4 controllers, and you have to hold that, and then you have to wait for the footage to load. And if you have it in the more consistent quality, then that can take like a full minute in order for you to get that footage. But it only takes like a second if you do it in the faster version. And I haven't noticed a dip in quality at all. And that's a trap, so watch out. So, because it's so much faster, without a dip in quality, that's why I'm going with it. But like I said, very extremely occasionally, it'll skip like 1 second of footage. So, a little sad, but it's worth it for me. And I mistimed that. Well, I got that timing. Didn't get the parry off, but doesn't matter. We got the kill anyways. A win is a win. We didn't lose any health for that mistake, so I'll take it. And I will move on, not worrying about anything. And we can Anne Orlando this. We did not Anne Orlando that. But the birds will jump off and die because they can't fly. Like that. But normally if you move off to that little section on the right, they don't land on the walking section at all. They just fall straight down. Normally. Didn't this time, don't know why, but they still fell in the end. I took no damage from that specific bird, and so we can move on. And here at the top, we can push this lever, and this middle tower, along with all the spiral staircases attached to it, all move up 1 floor. And this changes the entire area. And there's a bird. If you walk towards them, they fly away, but if you shoot them, then they come to you. And if you kill them, you get the guidance rune. The one dropped by the bird only gives 10%, but I've heard you can get it multiple times, and they stack, which is neat. And here you get a second brain fluid. You need 3, and there's where you get 2. The third is dropped by the NPC themselves later on. Like, by the NPC, you give the brain fluid to. Like I said, I'm not gonna do that this run, especially because I wanted to just keep going and beat 2 areas, 2 bosses in at max an hour. And the doing her quest would push us over that line. Now, that blood gem says attack versus open foes is up. I don't know what attack versus open foes even means, but ow, 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 hold on, let me back up, please, and heal. Jesus. So these things are very fast, and they do a lot of damage. They have very cool designs, and the story behind them is neat. But, oh, they do a lot of damage. They are very capable of killing. But over here, another button, another trap, watch out. Just be safe, don't die. And in here, there's some of those little heads that we've been seeing and talking to. But now they're enemies. And you can also get one as a headpiece that you can equip as like a piece of armor. And we're just gonna sedative that. And those are heads with no bodies, and these are bodies with no heads. And fittingly, because they have no heads, they don't attack you, which is very nice. They will attack you if you attack them, so... don't question reality, just keep moving on. But something I said last time is, if an enemy doesn't attack me, I won't attack them. So even though I'm a hunter, even though I'm hunting everything and killing all the things, if something doesn't attack me, it gets to live. Like that one bird in Hemwick Charnel Lane that is peaceful. And here we can backstab this guy, and for some reason he didn't go off the map, but that was very strange. That's another trap, but we don't need to worry about that one because the explosion is in the other direction. This one, however, we do need to worry about. But with that gotten, we can roll down onto this thing, and there's another skip. Again, that's the right coordinate itself doing it. Not entirely sure why it does it, but because it lets you get the footage so much faster, and it only skips like a second of footage very occasionally, it's worth it in my eyes. So, there we got a key. I'm probably going to move to the slower version for the saw cleaver run because I want that to be as high quality as possible. And here we got a shield. It is made of blue glass, as the best shields are. But yeah, along with moving the tower in the middle, it also adds some new enemies here, so they're very loud. But we got a key right around the same area where we got the shield. This one, the underground cell key. So we're gonna go use that. And to do it, we need to head back over to where we fought Ludwig. Not all the way, but most of the way. And those two enemies are still dead because, remember, I didn't go back to the dream. But here, we can open this door, and there's a hunter inside. And based on how you can lock onto them, they're probably not very friendly. Ignored me whiffing the first attack, but you can actually hit them through the door. And sometimes they leave, sometimes they stay in the room and get stuck. If you can get them to stay in the room, that's very lucky, and it's very nice, and lets you cheese the fight. If not, then don't worry about it, just have range or be good at the game. Obviously, I chose to have range, but killing him, you get the church pick, which is another weapon.
Shrouded by not only.
And you can also use the key to open this door and kill this guy. And all four of the armor pieces have like different names, but they're all the same set, so I don't really know what to call it, but it's a pretty neat looking set. And yeah, you can get insight if you have the vile blood oath on. I didn't put it on because I don't know, but you can do that. Now, you don't get Madman's knowledge, but you do get a different item that effectively works the same way. And down those stairs, there's another door. It's still locked. We need another key that we'll get in the next area. Though, I doubt we're beating both living failures and Lady Maria and getting over halfway through the next area in 15 minutes. Something tells me we can't do that. Now, brain fluid opens the door on the other side there that I looked at for a second. But moving on. Oh yeah, just give the brain fluid to her. She gives you a special blood vial, like the ones that the Curtsy NPC and the church lady give you, and you have to use that and then talk to her again to get another one. You have to do that like 3 or 4 times, and then she'll ask for another brain fluid, and then just rinse and repeat. I'm sure you'll figure out how to finish her quest. But anyways, moving on. Now we can head up these stairs, which were not here before, but are here because we turned the lever. Word of advice, kill her, because she will speak every single time you go to open the door, and if you kill her, you don't have to skip through her dialogue to open the door. So, little mean, but if you die to this boss a lot, it really helps. Don't know why they just stood there and let me wail on them for a bit. Don't know why they're just standing there and letting me wail on them, but I appreciate the cooperativeness? Question mark? I feel like they should have been fighting back more, but they didn't. Huh. There's one swinging. Yeah, see, that's what I expect. I expected them to come at me swinging. I expected them to try to slam me into the ground. I expected them to try to smack me around. I expect me to parry them and have them crumble into dust and explode into watery air mist. I expect bombs to be thrown at me. I expect a meteor shower. See? This is how the boss is supposed to act. But if you get behind that flower on the left side from where you enter in, then you can easily backstab them, which is pretty neat. Ow. Oh. I thought that was gonna kill me. So, glad it didn't, because that would mean that I'd have to do a skip because of the, not wanting to go through an entire loading screen. Again, meteor shower, very easy backstab and critical hit. I was out of range for that. And the alternate form heavy attacks, very good at stunning them. And they have no health. That is not a health bar. But it's fine, because they died. And them dying gets you the Astral Clock Tower key. And that lamp. The Astral Clock Tower key is for this door. I wasn't gonna open it, but I decided, yeah, I'll open it just so we can speed things up going into the next part. But I figured we're about to hit the 50-minute mark, and I got through pretty much the entirety of Hunter's Nightmare, even though I skimmed through it before in part 1. But I went through it again. I beat Ludwig. I went through the entirety of the research hall, beat another boss. I got Beast Hunter Scythe, Church Pick, Holy Moonlight Sword, Boomhammer, Whirligig Saw, Amygdalin Arm. I got a few left-handed weapons as well that I didn't show. So 2 full areas, 2 full bosses, one of my favorites in the entire series. A lot of weapons, and we did all of this without a single loading screen. I'm very, very happy with that. I think that's very good progress. Shining coin for the boss, and yeah.